Review quotation marks. Quotation marks are used to show a speaker's exact words. When you use a speaker's exact words, it is called a direct quotation. Use quotation marks at the beginning and end of a direct quotation. Capitalize the first word and use a comma to set off the explanatory words. "We are going to the park today," said Marta. "Said Marta" are the explanatory words. We have quotation marks at the beginning and a capital W. Then we have a comma after today before the quotation marks. The comma is put inside the quotation marks. Then there is a period at the end of the whole sentence. Marta said, "We are going to the park today." When we switch the sentence around and put the explanatory words at the beginning, then the comma goes right after "said" and it's outside the quotation marks. Then we have quotation marks and a capital W on "we," and then a period at the end of the sentence inside the quotation marks. When the quotation is a question or an exclamation, they are done a little differently. Marta asked, "Are we going to the park today?" Marta asked are the explanatory words, so we have a comma after them, then a space, and the quotation marks and the capital A, and then the question mark is inside the quotation marks. If we put the explanatory words at the end of the sentence, then the quotation mark or the question mark goes inside the quotation marks because what she said is the question. But the whole thing is a statement telling us what Marta asked, so there's a period at the end of the sentence. It's the same with an exclamation mark. Marta shouted are the explanatory words, so we put the comma after Marta shouted, then a space, then the quotation marks, and a capital W on what she says, and then the exclamation mark goes inside the quotation marks. And just like the other one, if we switch it around and put the explanatory words at the end, then the exclamation mark goes inside the quotation marks and a period at the end of the sentence. Divided quotation. If the quotation is divided into two parts by explanatory words, both parts have to have quotation marks. "We are going," said Marta, "after dinner." "Said Marta" are the explanatory words, and they're in the middle of what she said. So we have a comma inside the quotation mark, then "said Marta," and then a comma outside the quotation marks, and then "after dinner." But we don't put a capital letter on "after dinner" because it was all one thing. We are going after dinner. It was all one thought. "Let's go," said Lydia. "We don't want to be late." Now we have two thoughts, two things that she said. "Let's go," said Lydia. "Said Lydia" are the explanatory words. So the comma goes inside the quotation mark. Then we put a period after Lydia because it was the end of a sentence. We're starting a new sentence in this next part, so we put a capital letter and a period at the end of the sentence. A dialogue is a conversation between two or more speakers. When writing dialogue, each speaker gets a new paragraph and new quotation marks. Below is an example of a dialogue. Notice the punctuation and capitalization. From The Guardians of Lore by Daniel Erito. "Did you see anything outside today during math?" I asked Soy as we started walking. "What do you mean, like the sky?" he asked, jumping over cracks in the sidewalk. "I mean right outside the window, like right up against it," I answered. Notice how each speaker has a new paragraph and quotation marks. Now it is your turn. Show what you learned by completing the Google form.